Have you ever noticed it? You're standing in a line at the grocery store. You see someone ahead of you, and instantly a thought pops into your head. Maybe it's about their clothes, or what's in their shopping cart, or how they speak to the cashier. We all do this. It's a habit, a quick little story we tell ourselves about a person we don't even know. This habit of making snap judgments is something so deeply human, so common, that we often don't even realize we're doing it. It's a silent reflex, happening in the quiet corners of our minds before we have a chance to question it. It's so easy to look at someone else's life from the outside. We see a small piece of their story and think we know the whole book. We might see a mother struggling with a crying child in public and think she can't control her kid. Or we see someone celebrating a big success and feel a little sting, whispering to ourselves, they probably had it easy. These quick judgments are like fast food for our ego. They are easy to grab and consume, but they don't truly nourish our souls or connect us to one another in a meaningful way. They build walls where we should be building bridges. Think about the last time you felt judged. It doesn't feel good, does it? It can make you feel small, misunderstood, and lonely. It's a heavy weight to carry when you feel like the world is looking at you through a critical lens, just waiting for you to make a mistake. We all know the sting of that feeling, yet even knowing how much it hurts, we turn around and do the very same thing to others. It's a cycle that we get caught in, often without even wanting to be a part of it. The truth is, we all just want to be seen for who we really are. Understanding this habit is the very first step to changing it. We have to become aware of our own thoughts. We have to catch ourselves in that moment of judgment and ask a simple question. Why? Why did I just think that? What is this thought really telling me about myself? When we begin to shine a light on these automatic reactions, we start to take back our power. We can choose a different thought. We can choose empathy. We can choose to pause and remember that every single person we meet is fighting a battle we know nothing about. So why do we do it? What is the real reason we jump to conclusions about people? Often it comes from a place of insecurity within ourselves. When we don't feel good enough or smart enough or successful enough, it can feel easier to point out the flaws in others. It's a way of deflecting from our own fears and shortcomings. By saying, look at what they're doing wrong, we are trying to make ourselves feel a little bit better, a little more right. It's a temporary fix, a way to lift ourselves up by pushing someone else down, even if it's only in our own minds. Another powerful feeling behind judgment is jealousy. We live in a world where everyone seems to be posting their highlight reels online. We see the perfect vacations, the happy relationships, the amazing job promotions. It's only natural to compare our own lives to these polished images. When we see someone who has something we want, that feeling of envy can turn into criticism. Instead of being happy for them, we might start looking for reasons why they don't deserve it. We might think, I bet they're not really that happy, or they must have cheated to get that. This is our ego trying to protect us from feeling less than. Sometimes, judgment is simply a way to feel in control. The world can be a confusing and unpredictable place. Creating simple categories for people, good or bad, right or wrong, smart or foolish, makes things feel more manageable. It gives us a false sense of order. If we can label someone quickly, we feel like we understand them, and that makes us feel safer. We are trying to make sense of a complex world by putting people into neat little boxes. But people are not neat. They are messy and complicated and beautiful, and they can't be contained by our simple labels. Ultimately, what we judge in others is often a reflection of what we fear or dislike in ourselves. This is a big truth. If you find yourself constantly criticizing people for being loud, maybe you're afraid of taking up space yourself. If you judge someone for being lazy, perhaps you're worried that you aren't working hard enough. Our judgments are like mirrors. They show us the parts of ourselves that we have not yet accepted or made peace with. They point to our own unhealed wounds and our deepest insecurities. Looking at our judgments this way can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and growth. Let's think about some real-life examples. We see them everywhere. Imagine you are at work, and a colleague gets a promotion you were hoping for. The first thought might be judgmental. You might think about the one time they messed up a project, or how they always seem to talk to the boss. You start building a case against them in your head. This isn't because they are a bad person. It's because your own disappointment is looking for a place to land. It's easier to be critical of their success than it is to sit with your own feelings of being overlooked or not good enough. Consider the parent at the school gate. You see a dad who is always on his phone while waiting for his child. It's so easy to think, he's such a distracted parent. He's not paying attention to his kid. But what if that dad is a single parent juggling 2 jobs? What if he's responding to an urgent email from his boss so he doesn't lose his job? What if he is texting his own sick mother to check in on her? We see a tiny snapshot of his life and write a whole negative story around it. We don't see the love, the struggle, the exhaustion, or the dedication that fills the other 23 hours of his day. Social media is another big arena for judgment. We scroll through our feeds and see people living lives that seem perfect. A friend posts photos from a glamorous trip to Italy. The immediate reaction can be, must be nice. I wonder how they can afford that. Or we see someone showing off their new body after months at the gym, and we might think they're so obsessed with themselves. These judgments come from a place of comparison. We measure our own reality against their curated moments of joy, and it makes us feel like our own life is lacking. We forget that we are comparing our behind the scenes with their highlight reel. Even something as simple as what someone eats can become a target for judgment. You might see someone ordering a big sugary dessert and think, that's so unhealthy. Or you see someone ordering a salad and think, they're probably judging me for getting fries. We have so many opinions about what is right and wrong, and we project them onto others. But we have no idea what that person's relationship with food is. Maybe that dessert is a celebration after a really hard week. Maybe that salad is what their body is craving. Our judgments often say nothing about them and everything about our own beliefs and anxieties. So how do we break this cycle? How do we move from a place of judgment to a place of understanding? The first step is to practice what I call a wonder-filled pause. When you feel that critical thought bubbling up, just stop, take a breath, and instead of judging, get curious. Instead of thinking, I can't believe she's wearing that, try wondering, I wonder what her story is. I wonder what makes her happy. This simple shift from certainty to curiosity can change everything. It opens your heart instead of closing it. It allows for possibility instead of shutting it down with a label. Another powerful practice is to look for the good in people. Make it a conscious effort. When you meet someone, challenge yourself to find one positive thing about them. It could be their smile, the passion in their voice when they talk about something they love, or their kindness to a stranger. When you train your mind to look for the good, you start to find it everywhere. This doesn't mean you have to ignore red flags or pretend everything is perfect. It simply means you are choosing to lead with generosity of spirit. You are giving people the same grace you would want them to give you. Remember to turn that kindness inward too. A lot of our judgment of others comes from being incredibly hard on ourselves. We are our own harshest critics. So, practice self-compassion. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Celebrate your small victories. When you learn to accept your own imperfections, you will find it so much easier to accept the imperfections of others. When you stop demanding perfection from yourself, you will stop demanding it from the world. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to a dear friend who is struggling. That kindness will ripple outward. In the end, it all comes down to a simple choice. Every day, in every interaction, we have the choice to judge or to love. We can choose criticism or we can choose compassion. One choice builds walls and the other builds bridges. One choice leaves us feeling empty and separate, and the other fills us with connection and light. Let's make a promise to ourselves and to each other to choose kindness. Let's choose to see the humanity in every person we meet. Because when we do that, we not only make the world a better place for others, but we create a more beautiful, peaceful, and loving world for ourselves to live in.